Fermentation should play a vital role in reducing food waste, not only at home, but also in the community. I'm going to be showing you how to take a bunch of vegetable scraps and ferment them into something really delicious and useful in the kitchen. Okay, so fermentation and how it plays a role in reducing food waste, not only at home, but also in our communities. All right, so I have all of these vegetable scraps that I'm going to rinse really well, real quick before the next step. Give everything a good rinse. Rinse it well. Get as much grit and anything that may be on the vegetables off as possible. Got a bunch of herb scraps too that I was going to make a sauce with, but I'm going to put into this ferment. All right, guys. Now we've got it all roasted up. We gotta record the weight. Now we're gonna add some koji. Now we're gonna add salt. Lots and lots of salt. It's part of the fermentation process. It's what controls the microbes and how they ferment. Yes, more salt. Nice and mixed. Koji, vegetables, water, salt. Weigh it down a little bit. Take away some of the floaties. Nice and weighed down now. All right. Some fine cheesecloth and a couple rubber bands to hold it around the container so the buggies don't get in it. And we're gonna leave this open to the air. It's good to label it what it is and the date you started it. Hey there, everybody. What a wonderful evening. I don't think we're gonna get too many of these, too many more of these before the summer comes, so I'm sitting outside and enjoying it while I still can. So I am putting together a vegetable scrap umami sauce. That's kind of what we're going to call it. But basically we are going to use the same process as making soy sauce, except for no wheat and no beans. We took vegetable scraps and added koji and salt and water. And then we put them in a fermentation container and then weighted them down, put some cheesecloth on the top with a rubber band to prevent the bugs from getting in. Now we just have to wait. So a few things about fermentation. Number one is you can't rush it. The longer this type of ferment goes, the better it will taste. And then also another important thing about your vegetable scraps. If your vegetable scraps are starting to rot, don't ferment them, put them in your compost instead. But if you've collected a bunch of vegetable scraps, say in a baggie and put it in the freezer or throughout the week and they're still viable, absolutely use those to be able to create a ferment for something useful. So a few things more about the ferment that we put together. So all of the vegetables that all the vegetable scraps that I put in there were pretty much from hardier vegetables. A lot of root ends and fibrous like cores of like cabbages and stuff like that. There's some onion skins and things like that in there. Some pepper cores, mushroom, like the very bottom of the mushroom where it grows onto the substrate. It's pretty fibrous. Add some of that in there. And then we roasted it up to concentrate the flavor a little bit more. And now we're going to let it ferment. So, yeah, we're going to go back and circle back to talking about how fermentation fits into reducing food waste at home in our community. So that was about 5 kilograms of vegetable scraps, and that's just leftovers from various things through production for my fermentation process. Some of the pieces that I couldn't use. Yeah, so instead of throwing them in the garbage, we're going to ferment them and turn them into something really highly nutritious and delicious. This type of ferment requires a really high salt percentage. I'm going with 18% salt by total weight of water and vegetables and koji. And the reason being is because I don't want it to start to ferment too quickly, and I don't want a bunch of surface mold to form. So the higher the salt percentage, the less likely you're going to have issues with surface molds. Which means, since we're using a much higher salt percentage, means that we're going to have to let this thing go for quite a while. But the good news is it's starting to get warm here. So I'm going to put it in a nice, cozy, warm place out of the touch of sunlight and any type of draft wind or anything like that. And the warmer the ferment is on this type of ferment, the better the enzymes work in the koji. And the more those enzymes start to break things down on a little bit quicker pace. I expect to be able to probably start tasting this after about 3 months. Yes, it takes time. Sometimes ferments like this take much longer. So we're going to taste it at 3 months, and then we're going to taste it at 6 months. And usually around 6 months is usually about the time when it starts to develop really great flavor. So, yeah, but you just got to be patient. And as far as, being able to utilize your vegetable scraps for other fermentation, I will put out another video when I get back from traveling to show you guys how to throw together a vegetable scrap like relish that can be lacto-fermented for a much shorter period of time. Not quite the same. It's not going to be as in-depth of flavor and robust of flavor as this ferment is going to be, but it'll still be good. For those of you who have had the giardiniera that I've made in the past, the vegetable scrap ferment would be very similar to that. Some notes on vegetables like cucumbers. You can totally put like cucumber ends and stuff into the mix as well, and that's not a problem. Any type of skins of peeling of things will work well. You can even put like fruit peels and stuff in there. If you put like more sugary things in there, you're gonna get the ferment to turn more into alcohol, and then eventually it'll be more tangy, and because of the acetic acid development in it. So you can definitely do fruit scraps as well, but it's going to be a little bit different than doing like hearty vegetable scraps. The process is the same, but the outcome may be different as far as flavor goes, which is not a bad thing. And yeah, so that wraps up this little series of videos talking about, how to take something and how to take vegetable scraps and turn them into something highly nutritious and delicious for you, and then also for, the community. The beautiful thing about this type of ferment is that it can be scaled really well, which means that if you have a large amount of vegetable scraps, you're going to need some really large fermentation containers, but it's possible to be able to ferment them and create something delicious. One last thought about food waste and fermentation is that all of us should be using fermentation in some way or another to help reduce our food waste, even if it's just at home. There are, easier ways to use your vegetable scraps, like make vegetable stock and so forth. But if you really, 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 really want to get into like super great flavors and even more higher nutrition and so forth, then this is the way to go. To be able to break these scraps down into a really great liquid. After this ferment is completed, I'll be straining it and clarifying it to be able to have the flavor a little bit more clean and not have a bunch of bits of vegetable scraps and stuff floating around. But they don't anticipate a lot to be left over by that time. The microbes and the enzymes will break down a lot of that stuff that we put in the container.